State board. That was a test. How many times? 10? 20?
No, not 20. Okay, so I'm not a good test taker. Okay. I'm not a test taker. I took the test, I went to take the practical and the written at the same time.
Okay.
I came to LA and I did the written first in the morning, so you don't really get the results of that until after you take the practical. So took it in the morning, didn't feel super confident, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was like, there were questions on there I didn't know, like things about women's coloring, like things that I didn't feel like pertained to my job, but I understand it deals with the industry. So took the written, I then took the practical. There were 8 people in the room. I was the only one to pass.
The only one?
I was the only one to pass the practical. So I failed the written, but I passed the practical. And like, when I say this, I thoroughly mean this. The other 7 people that failed wanted to like, take me out.
Oh.
They were not happy. They were not, and during the state board, my clippers didn't work. My plug, the plug that they had there did not work. And so it says at the bottom, like just for anybody who ever wants to know this, it says at the bottom of every sheet that you go through during state board, it says do the best with what you have.
Okay.
So I shear cut the whole head. I used my scissors the whole head. I never used my clippers, ever. The entire thing, and I was the only one to pass. So I don't know if like, by God willing, I'm not sure, but I took the win on that. I ran down the elevator. I called the guys at the shop. I was like, I passed the practical, but at least I can take the written back in Orange County and like we can, keep this moving. So you actually have a time, like you have like 6 months to pass that test for the other one to be valid. Do you get what I'm saying? So like, though I didn't fail the written, or though I failed the written and passed the practical, if I waited 6 months and didn't take the written again, I'd have to take both again. Yeah. Oh. So I ended up only taking, I failed the second time the written. On my 3rd try of the written, I passed. So it took me 3 times on the written and 1 time on the practical.
How many questions were on the written?
It's only like 50 questions, but it's like a different set of questions every time. So I think I got different questions the first 2 times, and I'm gonna be honest, I like saw it the second time, I was like, man, these questions again, I haven't seen these. But the book they give you to study is like hundreds and hundreds of questions. So how you dial that down to 50 questions, I'm not sure. Or what 50 questions you're gonna get, it's kind of odd, but.
So was it 75% to pass? 60? 65?
I think it's something like that. I think you can only miss like 6 or something, yeah.
Okay.
And they do it based on a scale. So like, you have to get a certain number of questions in each it's a scaled grade.
Okay, so the haircut is the same thing as a scale?
Yeah, the practical one as well. It's a scale. It's hair cutting, shaving, the perm services, colored services. It's all that on the practical, but it's in a scaled, yeah. So you get like 8 out of 10, 5 out of 10. You know what I mean? You have to pass each section.
How about those 9 steps? Did you get the 9 steps?
Yeah, actually. She only asked me for like the first 4, but yeah, I did them. I think she liked me. I think she had a thing for me.
Oh,
she was like an old lady. She like, she just, but I came in with my Paul Mitchell stuff, and like in the industry, Paul Mitchell's like, a good school. It has good reputable things, and like all my bag and stuff says Paul Mitchell all on the side, so I was repping, I guess.
Also, for the shave, how'd you guys do this? You did the shave on the mannequin.
On the mannequin, yeah. Yeah. And another key thing that I learned, always keep that head like facing one way. When you're doing like the whole service, like make sure you're not chasing that doll head around and around, because like I saw people like all in their little cubby, like going around and around. The head's, the head of the doll head's like all different ways. So I'm like, just keep it in the same spot. Like
the same spot.
Yeah, and I think that's what helped me. I don't know. I'm not sure.
State board was an overall good experience.
Yeah, it was good.
Time.
Yeah.
I guess that's probably average. I know.
Yeah. Well, you have to keep paying them too, so
how much
that's lovely. I think like when you first take it, it's like $150 or $170, somewhere around there. But then after the fact, I think if you take like the written again or another one again, it's like $100. So I gave them a good little chunk of change.
Yeah,
it's like the DMV.
Yeah, they'll get you on the way.
Time to run it all. I wake up. Yeah. I wake up.